All right, welcome to another edition of the Big Blue Report featuring that guy right there, two-time Super Bowl champion, former defensive captain of the New York Football Giants, Jonathan Casillas, the Professor Ryan Darlington, and my name is Randy Zellea from Back Sports Page. And we thank you for making us a part of your football week. If Giants fans are celebrating, but before we get too deep into Giants talk, let's break down. You got it. You know it. Momento.com. That's right. Momento.com. You can go there, download Momento now, and you can cover your New York Giants games, the times you've been in the stadium. Go to the Momento now. Mark the games you were at, your online ticket stub. Go to Momento.com. Okay. Gentlemen, we're coming off a victory that we didn't see coming at all. JC, we penciled these two games in as losses. What is happening with this New York Giants team? Because the week before we weren't on. We lost to the Saints, and that was the game that we had pictured being that win for us. What is going on? This is Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde all over again for this New York Football Giants team.
Well, listen, the team is different. You know, it feels different. It looks different. And if you heard Jaxson Dart's post-game comments, man, about like this is not the same old Giants. They're not involved in the old bullshit, and all the old, the loser mentality. They ain't involved in none of that, and I think it's revitalized the team, and you think about a guy like Dexter Lawrence who's only been to the playoff one time, won one playoff game. And besides that, they've been way below 500 every single year that he's been in the NFL. And these kids, Scatterbull, Dart, the younger guys, Abdul Carter, they're not having that shit. They're like, nah, that ain't us. And I think the older guys are really like kind of rallying behind these younger guys, man, and Dart, he has this unreal aura. That's the word that these kids use, but I don't think no one can really signify it more than him. Like this guy, he has this, this when he steps onto the field, like this belief that everybody else has in him. And I've seen it before. I've played with Breeze, Brady, and Manning. Like I've seen it with the greats, and of course I'm not trying to put him on that level quite yet. But man, when you have belief in the guy, that's playing the quarterback position and you feel like you want to be accountable, to this guy. I think that's what we're seeing here. And I don't think we've seen that in a very long time for the New York Football Giants. In 2015, when I got to New York, there was no question that I had belief in Eli. He didn't play as well in 2016, but when we got to the playoffs, I still had that belief in him because of his body of work. And I just don't think the quarterbacks that have played for New York over the last, let's call it 10 years, people really didn't have the belief in them. And if they did, it wasn't a long-lasting, sustained belief. And I think they have belief in this kid. He's showing us that he's willing to put his body on the line, and people like they rally behind that, and when you see a guy out there sacrificing literally his health, like to go ahead and get a first down, right? That makes you feel like, man, you know what? I need to go ahead and tighten up because I don't think I'm sacrificing enough. And I think that's what you're seeing.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And JC, you absolutely used the right word there. It is belief, right? I've been wondering what it is that he brings out of people. I'm wondering what it is that kind of allows this team to kind of flip the switch. And I think it really does boil down to they finally have someone that they can believe in under center, right? And listen, the proof is in the pudding. And, I'll be honest, the pudding tasted like shit a couple weeks ago, but it tasted really good when it comes to our game against Philadelphia. And so he's got people believing, and it feels chaotic at certain times. He's really good at playing some street ball, finding the open guy when plays break down, using his legs, getting people open, directing the flow of traffic, and making it happen. And so having won 2 out of 3, there's proof there. There's something that people can hang on to. It's not just a blind faith. There's production there. And when there's production there, you can believe in the production. You've seen him do it. Like I said, it looks a little chaotic, but then, the more you actually see the throws that this guy's making, where he's putting the ball, when he needs to put the ball there, his timing, his touch, it's not just luck. It's not just somebody kind of flying by the seat of their pants all the time. This kid's actually got real ability, and that gives me some faith moving forward as well.
And guys, the other thing too is they did this one on national television.
Yeah.
And then to me, that also shows that the big lights don't bother Cam Scattaboo. They don't bother Jaxson Dart. Again, the first time they were on national TV earlier this year was the Kansas City Chief game. And it just sort of fell apart. This didn't fall apart. This was a statement game by the Giants. And like JC, you said at the beginning of this, it changes the outlook of, maybe you're not looking for those wins. Now the Giants are going to be competitive in every single game this year. And maybe the prediction of 4 to 5 wins now may turn into 6 to 7 to maybe 8 wins. And we talk about competing for the division, which again, I'm saying crazy things. Okay, like don't mind me. I'm talking that crazy nonsense that these kids are talking about today. But yes, we're talking about the New York Giants being able to compete at a higher level than we've talked about. And I had to tell you guys something that I really thought was really funny. And I think I texted Ryan this during the game when Dable went into the medical tent. We all know what he was sitting there saying. My job is on the line. Get your ass back on the field. That's what he was sitting there saying.
Yeah. And then he sent Scattaboo in to do the same thing, right? He was like, just go in there, kick the fucking doctor in the nuts and pull out Dart, Mm-hmm.
We don't care if Dart is seeing 9 things. Get him out on the field right now. It does not matter. We want him out on the field right now.
The funny part, that was kind of understandable. All right, I get why he's in there. The offense is still on the field, and he's trying to figure out, I got to figure out if we can run, go for 4th down. I get that. But then Scattaboo went and I'm like, bro, what the fuck is these guys doing?
No fucks given by any of them. No fucks given by either one of them.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. I was dying when that happened. And and my immediate thought was, they're gonna get fined.
Sure.
Did they? Did they get fined?
I don't know that they have yet, but they will.
Announced it,
yeah, they will.
Okay.
It's happening.
Today is fine day. Wednesday is fine day. Okay. This is the day that the fines are be sitting in your locker and I guess on your stool if you're Coach Dable.
Dart got fined for high-fiving the refs, so I can imagine that Dable will get fined for.
You know what? When he did that, I was like, "Yeah, I don't think that's going to go over too smooth."
They even fined the ref. They fined the ref $1,000 for not calling a foul or penalty on him. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they did. They fined Dart. I think $15,000, and they fined the ref $1,000. That's a $15,000 high five right there. Which is
wild,
fucking crazy.
You got to make it count, though, baby. Make it count. You're gonna get fined. You got to make sure it's for something good.
Hey, listen, and you know what? I kind of want a fat head of Jaxson Dart high-fiving the ref, and I'll put it up in my office.
That's dope.
I think I pay good money for that too. Listen, the guys. The other part of it too. A lot of the talk also was the wide receiver room. And what it's going to look like without Malik Nabers. And by the way, there has been a Jalen Hyatt sighting for the last 2 years. I think he had to use a GPS on how to get onto the field because it's been so long since he's got there. But still, 2
impactful plays back to back.
Yeah. Who is that masked man?
Well, and it's great because honestly, one of the things that Jaxson Dart was going to have to do when we talked about it the last time we had a show, one of the things he's going to have to do is utilize all of his resources. And regardless of who his receivers are, whether it's Hyatt or Lil Jordan Humphrey who's back, and now it's going to be Juice Wells is back on the team. he's got to use all of his resources. And the fact that he has been pretty successful at utilizing all of those resources, I mean, that's what helps to keep defensive coordinators on their toes, and keeps this ship a-rolling, because he can't focus on just one person. Defenders can't focus on one guy. They have to cover everybody, and that makes it more difficult.
And not only that, too, the one thing I also saw really, really, really well was Humphrey, man. Humphrey was catching some passes over the last 2. Yeah, he's a great
6'4". Send it up there. Let him go get it,
man. Let's rock and roll, man. I like again. This goes back to what I said a couple weeks ago. Good quarterbacks, not great quarterbacks. They don't need to go out and buy wide receivers. They don't need to go out there and sign guys to hefty contracts. Good wide receivers will go out there and good quarterbacks will make wide receivers. Yeah. And that's what, it's happened over the years. And I will tell you, it happened with Eli, with Victor Cruz, and Hakeem Nicks. Hakeem Nicks drafted in the first round, but at the same time, Eli helped put that man on the map.
I still think it would be good to have a little bit more help. But go ahead. Yeah,
no, Ryan. I was about to say the same thing. Like, I hear you, but when it comes down, especially now in 2025, bro, how everything is, basically protecting the NFL's offensive, skill positions. The quarterback has extra protection. The receiver's been having protection for a very long time in terms of, the hands-on, at the line of scrimmage, the ability to, the non-ability to not get hit, over the middle, to, having the ability to safely catch a football at all times. So you need a guy that fits into how the NFL has been protecting the offensive players. You need a guy so they can further protect the guy. You know what I mean? Like, you need a number one wide receiver. You need an explosive guy that can take the top off the coverage, or he's a great route runner or possession receiver, whatever the case is. You need either a Z or an X, somebody that can demand a double team, somebody that can, bring the attention away from basically everything else. Because if you don't have a guy like that, and I agree with you in the fact that because there was no Malik Neighbors, they played the Giants kind of like, all right, let's see what you guys got, right? So they wasn't keying in on anybody. So now anybody can pretty much have a day because no one's actually being taken out the game, right? But with that being said, you need a guy. You need at least one top dog guy at that position, right? It will help you at the quarterback position. It will help your run game. It will help your deep your deep percentage throws, right? It will help you in the red zone. Like, you need a guy like that. I don't know if the Giants are looking, to find someone to trade for. I know there's some free agents out there. I know, is it Gabe Davis still around?
He's still out there.
But he might be on somebody's practice squad, but I know he's not on an active roster. So, I'm not saying the Giants need to do it, but one of these guys, Wan'Dale's kind of showing, some life here. That was a tremendous play, but who was that play really, on? It was on Dart. The first 2 touchdowns last week was Dart's legs, right? The first one, he hit an all-pro middle linebacker with a stinky leg, left him in the middle of the field, and then ran away from the defense. That was awesome. And then the Wan'Dale Robinson play, he extended that play for about 7 seconds, and he was able to get the ball to Wan'Dale, and Wan'Dale did the rest. But I think you definitely should be looking for a guy. If there's somebody out there, you don't want to, give up, the whole kitchen for him. But I do feel like the Giants need a guy, a marquee guy that can stretch the field. And little Jordan Humphreys, he definitely stepped up. That was a huge play in the beginning of the game. Dart is. People are talking about his legs, but he had some impressive throws that weren't caught. They weren't caught.
Yep.
The best passes he had was the touchdown, basically in the end zone. That was a beautifully defense play. The safety came over and hit it out his hand. But that ball right over, I think it was Adoree, if I'm not mistaken, or Mingo, over his head, over the shoulder. Mind you, it's very difficult when you're not leading a guy and he could just run underneath it. No, you have to be accurate, pinpoint accuracy. The timing has to be there to be able to make that throw. And there was several throws in that game when Jaxson Dart was either in the pocket or moving outside the pocket that I was like, okay, those are not even pro level throws. Those are Pro Bowl throws. Those are all pro throws that this guy is doing it. And let's not take away his creativity and his ability to escape the pocket. He's second to none with that. And then you couple all of those things, those tangibles, with the intangible of how big his nuts are.
Yeah. That's something special, man. Yeah, for sure. But I mean,
I guess that's a tangible asset, right?
It doesn't show up on the scouting report, but yeah, you know what I mean. It's like, by the way, JC, when you started that thing up, you sounded like Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder because he was the dude who's trying to be the dude who might be the dude. So I just had to point that one out too. But look, guys, at the end of the day, with Jaxson Dart, sometimes, and I think this sort of happened last year with Jaden Daniels too, there's just something about a guy who energizes your team.
Sure.
And last year, like when you looked at that Washington Commander team from last season, you look at those position by position, you're sitting there saying to yourself, this team shouldn't be as good as they are. But they were. And now this year they made the proper upgrades in the proper positions, and they're playing a lot better than than they've been
years past, not than last year. They're not better than
last year. Like Jaden Daniels getting hurt beginning of the year, there was a little bit of minor setback for them this year. Yeah, but I'm saying though, all of a sudden now, one player has turned this thing around for the New York Giants because Scottaboo also. The two of them together has set such a different tone for this team. Mm-hmm. And I think if you would have told any New York Giants fan, hey, right now we're 2-4, but you feel that momentum going. Well, I think Giants fans will take it.
Oh yeah, well, and tell them that the two teams that we beat were the freaking Eagles and the Chargers.
Yep.
I mean, that's a whole different ball game. That's a whole different thing, right? And guys, we were the only team in the NFC East to win a game last week.
Yeah.
Right. We are seeing that the Commanders are not as good as they were last year. And
the Eagles aren't elite. They aren't elite. They're good. They're still good.
Exactly. They're still good. But there are holes. There are cracks in that statue. And Jesus, all you got to do is watch a Dallas game to realize that their defense is like the last in the league. It's awful.
Yeah. So they are terrible.
There are opportunities here. Yeah. Now I don't want to get ahead of myself, right? We've won 2 games, right? But reality. But we have won.
I'm planning my Super Bowl parade. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I'm just saying we have won 2 of the last 3 with the new guy, right? And look, there's something to be said for being at home. There's extra juice when you're at home. The 2 games that we have won have been at home when everybody's going absolutely ape shit. And it's going to be different in Denver. It's going to be different in Philadelphia, right? There's hostile environments, and can we keep the same thing going? But look, we have an opportunity to climb our way out of the fucking gutter for the first time in how many years? 3?
And not only that, too, not are we pulling ourselves out of the gutter, but you're like, this is only going to get better.
I'd like to think that. Yeah, he's going to get sharper.
Yeah, he's going to get better with the more experience he has on the field. But right now, if I'm a fan of the Giants, I'm not doing too much prognosticating. I can't believe I got that word right.
It's a good one.
I thank you. It's
an SAT word. Good for you.
I'm very happy about it. I would just, if I'm a Giant fan, I want to just sit back and enjoy the ride, and take whatever comes out. Because look, at the end of the day, they have to go out there and fix this wide receiver room. A conversation that we all said at the beginning of the season, like, wow, look at this wide receiver room, and now we're sitting there saying, wow, look at this wide receiver room. That's like,
I mean, I was never too impressed with the whole room. I definitely was. I mean, everybody was excited about Neighbors, but Wandale, he's solid. I don't think he's been the guy with this consistency. I feel like there's been a lot of times where, first of all, he's a playmaker for sure. Like he's a guy that can break tackles. He's very tough, little guy. But man, we've seen time and time again, like he's dropped some kind of crucial passes. He has a couple penalties. So I was looking for him to really take the jump. And I tell you what, guys, I'm very impressed by Wandale this year and
Yeah.
what he has shown, no matter who was throwing him the ball.
Yep.
So I've been more impressed by him, I think, out of the room than basically anybody else. And of course, little Jordan Humphrey, we had no idea what he could do because we've never seen him play football actually. But it was an impressive showing. But the room itself, Randy, we the whole room definitely wasn't impressive. Malik Neighbors was. I think Wandale is definitely surprising us. The tight end room, I think, is a room that has came along. Theo Johnson is showing up, but again, mistakes, right?
Hmm.
Drop passes, like those are things, guys, where when it comes down to it, and you're in these games because you actually can compete in these games, those are the things that's gonna kill you, man. Those
Yeah.
inopportune drops, right? Those deep
Sure.
passes that could have been touchdowns, should have been touchdowns, right? And look, the Giants seized the opportunity and made those plays against the Eagles. The week before, they did not do that against the Saints.
They shot
So
themselves in the
this
foot.
the great thing about this team now is that we're not looking at, look, man, if they play a perfect game, they're still going to lose.
Right.
We're not looking at that anymore. We're
Yeah.
looking like if they can limit their mistakes, and if they don't have any mistakes, they don't turn the ball over, they're going to be in every game.
Yeah.
And that's not just because of the offense, guys. That's because of the defense too. And I know you got Brian Burns up there. He is playing like a
Out of
man
his mind.
Oh
possessed.
my God, out of his mind right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2 in sacks in the league.
Yep, yep.
Well,
And there's times where I seen him, fellas, off the ball, and every time I see him off the ball, I'm like, oh shit, he's off the ball. The first time I seen him, I think it was against Dallas, and he was in the open field, and he just hit the running back one-on-one, like open field tackle, big hit. And then it was maybe 2 weeks ago against the Saints, I think, where he was dropped back in a pass situation, which is why are we dropping Burns on the pass situation, right? But it was a route concept and he played it perfectly. I'm like, yo, not
Yeah.
only is he a great athlete and he can create mismatches when he's rushing the passer, but that shows me when he can come off the ball like that, that means he's a smart guy. That means he's
Mm.
very intelligent. He can recognize route concepts, which defensive ends, they don't, there's no reason for them to like know route concepts. You know what I mean? But he does. So not only is he great on the ball, but like, bro, when they bring him off the ball, he's as good as any linebacker off the ball,
Yeah.
which that was the most surprising thing for me with Burns.
I said last week, I think I tweeted out, I'm like, is there a better guy on the Giants right now who's on the defensive side of the ball who's having a great season? Burns,
No.
I think there's a mix of first year with the team last year and some
A
injuries.
lot of injuries.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Burns was not able to show how great he is. Like, if you go back and watch the Hard Knocks from last year, going into last season, and they're like Brian Burns, and then you watch Brian Burns through the season last year, you're like, man, they got really excited over this guy. But now you're watching him, and you're sitting there saying, man, we got ourselves a steal. That, like, now you look at that deal, and you're sitting there saying it was a steal because you're getting exactly what you wanted. And what it also does, it's also raising the game of Kayvon Thibodeau. Now, Kayvon Thibodeau is a guy who I said in the beginning of the season, we have to keep an eye on and see how he plays because this is the year he's playing for his contract, not next year, this year. And this year, he's earning that contract. He wants that extension, and he's having a hell of a season.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy that we haven't really talked about yet is Abdul Carter, who is also in the mix. And I think what makes him a little bit unsung, he doesn't have the sacks, he doesn't have, a lot of the stats, but he is contributing to that line in a way that allows those other guys to be successful. When you're talking about the stunts, you're talking about the shifts, you're talking about the loops, you're talking about him putting himself in a position where offensive linemen, whoever's in the chip, they have to pay attention to where he is, and that frees up the other guys. So, I mean, all three of them working together is what's kind of making the magic happen. And I'm going to knock on wood as I say this, but, over the course of the last few games, we haven't seen situations where they've gotten them in second and long, third and long, and still gotten, the offense has still gotten a first down. They're actually they're pinning their ears back. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're finishing plays. They're getting sacks. They're getting TFLs. They're reading defenses in a much more efficient way. And I think that's making a big difference.
You guys are listening. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, JC.
Nah, I was just going to say, I fully agree. Dexter Lawrence, I don't think his numbers have been the same as we've seen him. I don't think we've seen the dominant game from him
Yep.
but the film still looks the same. There's still 4 hands on him every single play.
Sure.
So the stuff that we're talking about with all the other guys, they're getting one-on-one blocks. So I'm not saying I expected it, but those guys get paid too. And Brian Burns, he can't get blocked one-on-one. So he's going to continuously have, that type of effect on the game unless they start taking 4 hands off of Dexter. Because the only way to slow a guy down like that is to double team him, to make sure you account for him, whether you're keeping the guy in, bringing the tight end in, or whatever the case is. But you can't do that because Dexter's sitting in there with his big sexy self.
I gotta tell you, man, that's a guy who last year before he got hurt was one of the league leaders in sacks.
He was the league leader in sacks.
The league leader in sacks, and we're still waiting for those to come around this year. But the man is getting double teamed, and it's opening up the door for other guys to get those sacks, which is amazing. Sure. And we talked about a statement game the week before the Eagles fell to the Denver Broncos, and a lot of people felt for the Broncos that was their statement game, and then you saw what they looked like against the Jets out in London this past year. Which, by the way, if you ever want to feel better about yourself as a football player, watch the New York Jets play for a little while.
I feel so bad, man.
They're really bad.
They're terrible. I feel for them. But that's a whole nother topic for another time. I will say, boys, Dexter Lawrence is opening up a lot of doors for a lot of guys with the fact he's getting double teamed. It's helping open up Brian Burns. It's helping Kayvon Thibodeau. And I got to tell you guys, we were talking about Abdul Carter. You see the raw talent in him. Mm-hmm. And it's scary. It's scary. Because once it really clicks, like everything clicks with him for this, just imagine what this defensive line is going to look like.
Yeah. Well, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing with Dart and Scat, right? I mean, this is raw capability. Mm-hmm. And if you have the ability and, as you progress in this league and you start to hone those capabilities and you start to get better and better and better and, stop doing all the dumb shit that rookies do, right? And start playing pro football every time, it's just going to get better and better and better. And so, I mean, it's really exciting to see these guys in particular really start to shine, knowing that they're all still pretty raw, right? I mean, Scottaboo's just a fucking battering ram, so there is that. But as Dart gets more refined in his technique and his capabilities, it's going to be great. As Abdul Carter gets stronger and more refined in his capabilities and his technique, he's going to be even better. And this is a young team, guys. This is still a very young team. Think about our starting tight end is a second-year guy, right? A lot of our key defenders in Newbin and Phillips, they're second-year guys, and so this is a very young squad that now has something to play for, and you're starting to see some of that capability come out because that belief is soaked in, and they know that we can win any game that we play.
Gentlemen, I have to ask you too. Now, again, we were discussing Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of mentality with the Giants. Let's go back 2 weeks to the Saints.
Do we have to?
Well, no, I think it's important that we touch it. I think it's important that game, guys. Because as good as they looked against Philadelphia, I think it's going to also be just like it was in New Orleans. Yeah, five turnovers. First off, you have 5 turnovers in a game, you're losing that game. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah,
but they were right there in it. But JC, it's a way for things to turn sideways for a young quarterback and a young team. Do you think this team is somewhere in the middle of that, where it's the extreme bad of New Orleans and the extreme amazing against Philadelphia?
Yeah, they are somewhere in the middle because the guys that we're talking about, they're all young guys. These are all second, third-year guys, and another name that I'm pretty sure that we're all happy with his play is Drew Phillips. But you watch Drew Phillips, man, he commits a lot of mistakes. You know what I'm saying? But, you're going to take that, but I want to see if they can start overcoming these penalties, start overcoming these mistakes, because the mistakes, they're not going to get rid of the mistakes now. You know what I mean? Like, I know they had a clean game last week against this Denver team. You want to be able to limit those mistakes, but you also want to be able to get your get back. Defensively, it's like if they take the ball away from our offense, we need to take the ball away from them. They got to have that type of mindset. They get a big play, we got to get a big play. And it's not doing anything crazy or overbearing, but that's the mindset you got to have, because mistakes will come. You can't be like, oh my gosh, quarterback threw another interception. Okay, cool, guys. Now it's our time. Let's go. Let's go out there and do it.
Yeah.
And if they embrace that mentality and being able to respond, because that's what I think they did. I think the maybe there was maybe some nerves, with the Saints game, because it was a couple clean punches out on the ball. Jackson Dart just lost the ball. That was crazy. I never seen
He's
anything
carrying
like
it
that.
like a loaf of bread.
Yeah,
sorry.
It was like a loaf of bread. Yes, I agree with that.
Coming into the Eagles game, and this is what I've been saying since the Giants lost the first game to the Commanders. I want to see how they respond. I think offensively they responded against Dallas. They had to step back against the Chiefs. I think it was a collective effort against the Chargers. They had to step back against the Saints. They had a nice response towards the Eagles. Let's see if they don't take that step back and they continue to build what they had from last week, instead of saying like, oh, we've arrived, because like you said, Ryan, these guys only won 2 games. You only won 2 games. You're only as good as your record. Right now, you're sitting at the still the bottom of the NFC East, right? They're still at the bottom at the NFC East. You only got 1 division win, which is good. It's better. You're tied for like the last 15 years in the division that you got a division win. That's good. You still got to play all 3 of the teams again. That's another good thing. But this Denver team, guys, this Denver team is tough. Yeah. They have the #1 ranked defense in all the categories that matter. Third down, red zone, pass defense, run defense. Like, these guys can shut an offense down, right? They've shown it week in and week out. They was able to stop Philly late in the game to be able to come back and win that game. And they lost 2 games. And I heard this stat. They only trailed matter of fact, they haven't trailed in the 4th quarter at all this year. The 2 games that they lost, the kicks got made with 0 time expired. So you're talking about a team that plays with leads, right? A team that wants to run the football, a team that's not going to put the ball in their quarterback's hands because he's young and he's coached by Sean Payton. They want to be able to take the ball out of his hands, give it to the running backs, being able to do things offensively to move the football strategically downfield. The big shots are there, but they're not that type of team that's relying on that. This is a solid team that's very well coached. They're going to play 4 quarters of great football, and defensively, they're going to get to your quarterback. Like, there's no question they're going to sack Dart. There's no question they're going to sack Dart. Benito's leading the league. He got 8. And they got another guy on the team with like 5. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're leading the league in sacks by 10.
Yeah. Yep. I will say
you got to be able to overcome those mistakes, because Denver's a team that's going to make you make mistakes. Go ahead, Ryan. My bad.
Yeah, no. It's all good. I was just going to say, Benito plays one side of the field, right? Benito plays 260-something snaps out of his 270-something that he's played have been on that right side, on the side that Andrew Thomas is on. So, that gives me a little bit of hope, but you're absolutely right. There's a bunch of playmakers on that team, and they are going to make you make mistakes, because it's not a vanilla defense, right? They're going to disguise shit. They're going to try and do what they can do to confuse Dart. He's still young. He's in his 4th NFL game total, right? And so we know that going in, reading defenses pre-snap was going to be challenging for him. And you can bet they're going to be playing mind games all day. But there are ways to game plan for that. There are definitely screen passes and, all kinds of shit that CAF can dial up to make use of an aggressive defense or take advantage of a non-aggressive defense. And so I think coaching will make a difference in this game. I think how they scheme, not just offensively, but defensively as well, can really help or hurt the players that are playing in this game.
Gents, I have to ask about Darius Slayton and what you feel about this situation. Might be out again this week. What does I guess when injuries happen, it creates opportunities.
Mhm.
Your general feelings on Darius Slayton?
I mean, you got to get back. He's a guy that has been very consistent for the New York Giants, and I would say he's inconsistently consistent. Like you kind of know what you're going to get from him. He's a 700 guy, 700 yards a year type of guy. For me, I want him to be more consistent, more, faith in his hands. Like he dropped a touchdown pass against New Orleans, and he also fumbled. And I love what he means to the team. I think he is a great leader for the team. I think he's a great locker room guy. But man, somebody has to step up if Slayton's out, because not only do you miss his playmaking abilities and his consistent inconsistency, whatever you want to call it, but he's a leader in the locker room, so you're gonna miss that. When the guy, he can be out there, but it's different when he has his helmet on. When he's different when he's in the huddle. It's different when he's going to battle. It's different like when he gets put on his ass, during a game. Like, it's different when you're not out there with your guys. So somebody has to step up in that leadership department. I think the way we talked about Andrew Thomas, Randy, Andrew Thomas he's been the second best player, I think, for the Giants. I think
Yeah.
Burns is obviously number one. And then I think Andrew Thomas, we haven't said his name, and we all know about offensive linemen. If you don't say their name, that they're doing a good job. Since he's been playing, we haven't said his name one time, guys. He's been pitching shutouts. He's like getting 1,000, which is, we all knew that he was a great player. We've seen him be a human in the last few years. He's back to being that robot of literally no one's getting access on that side. So I hear you, Randy, about Nick Benito going against Andrew. He might shut him down, but Cooper got 4.5 sacks. They got guys that can get after the quarterback and is not just opposite the left tackle.
Yeah. 2 pressures he's allowed all year. No sacks, no hits, 2 pressures.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
And have you guys noticed too, since Andrew Thomas has been back from injury, just like you said before, it's been a totally different offensive line. And that has not been the focus of this conversation ever. By the way, I have to bring up this point too. The way we were talking before, we're fired up about a 2-4 team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Why not though, man? Why not, bro? There's a lot of teams out there, bro, that's fishing, like Baltimore, bro. Baltimore is down bad right now. You know what I mean? Like it's, like the Bengals, they're down, bro. Like, I mean, there's hope there, but it's like you don't got a quarterback. You don't got a healthy quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like we have a guy. We got a guy, finally.
Yep. Yeah.
And you see
the comment.
By the way, if you want to be part of the show, feel free, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or X, place your comments right in the box. We'll put them on the screen. We'll react, and we'll have you join the conversation with us here on the Big Blue Report, featuring that guy. We'll do a quick reset. That guy, the 2-time Super Bowl champion, Jonathan Casillas, the professor, Ryan Darlington, and Randy Zellea from Back Sports Page. That's me. Guys, so also, too, I got to bring up the trade deadline is coming up in the next couple weeks. Giants being rumored around to not only be buyers, but also possible sellers. The name that's been coming up has been Devin Singletary. Hate to see him go, but if Tracy's coming back, because when all 3 guys have been healthy, him, Scat, and Singletary, Scat, and Tracy have all been together, Tracy was bringing, doing kickoff returns.
Yeah.
Trying to find a spot for him. Obviously, they want him to be a bigger piece of the picture, a bigger piece of the offense. I don't know where Devin Singletary fits in this thing. He did sign a 2-year deal, so this is the last year. I think if you have the opportunity to get something for him, anything for him, you make that deal. Is there any other players besides Devin Singletary, do you think, for the Giants can use as selling bait? And obviously, besides the obvious.
I wouldn't even get rid of Motor. Remember how I talked about him earlier, man? I wouldn't get rid of him either, man. They got to figure out a way to use that dude a little bit more effectively, because he's a guy, like I said, he averaged 4 yards for his entire career, and like the health of your starters, man, there is always in question. There's no position in the NFL that say, all right, this position, these guys, no position is like that. And the way Cam Scatterable crazy ass plays, it's almost a matter of time. Somebody asked me, Ryan, right? Somebody asked me, at the game. I forgot who it was, and they were like, well, "Who's harder? Who you think is harder to tackle, Scatterbull or Saquon Barkley?" And I said, "Well, the harder tackle will be Saquon for sure because he can do so many different things, right? Saquon, he's fast, but he doesn't give you his body to hit.
He's
Like he'll
elusive.
shake you. He can jump over. You can stiff arm. You can spin on you. His spin is lethal. So he has so many different options. And if he gets you to stop your feet, you're almost dead. Like it's almost impossible to do that. Scatterbull, on the other hand, he's very predictable in what he's going to do, but it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt.
He's going to run through your fucking chest. Yeah,
it's going to hurt a lot, and you may or may not win. But I'm definitely going to touch him. Like I'm going to hit Scatterbull.
Yeah.
You might not touch Saquon.
Right.
But you're going to feel the Scatterbull hit for
Well,
sure.
yeah, and he better put that Guardian helmet on because he is one hit away from a pretty serious concussion. I mean, the fucking kid's running through brick walls out there, and he does not give a fuck. He is absolutely putting his head right out there. He does not care who he hits. He doesn't care who you are. If you're a 300-pound lineman or a 200-pound safety, he's going to put his head down, and he's going to rock your world. Right, which is fine. He's going to fall forward. He's going to get yards, but he is putting himself in harm's way. And to your point, I mean, if that happens and he does get concussed, he could be out for a couple of games. And then what do? I mean, you're relying on a guy that's just come off of a pretty nasty shoulder dislocation and a dude that you're going to pull up from the practice squad if you get rid of Singletary. So I mean, you're putting yourself in a position where yes, he has a degree of value, but does he have is the value that you're going to get for him equal to or less than the value that he has on your squad? Yeah. Right. I mean, if you don't get something that's going to be greater than the value he has to your team, you can't do that deal. I mean, I get to thinking about, you asked about other guys that are under the radar. I mean, the obvious ones, I think Russell would be a fantastic candidate for a trade. Quite frankly, I'm 100% amazed that, when the Bengals came looking, they went to the Browns for Joe Flacco and not to the Giants for Russell Wilson, but maybe they did. I don't know. But, it seems like that's somebody that could be dealt, right? We know that Jameis has another year on his contract. We know he wants to be there. I would love for that guy to be on the team for the next 30 years, quite frankly. But, at the end of the day.
Go ahead, Ryan. Finish. My fault.
Yeah, no, it's all good. And then the other guy I'm thinking is Evan Neal. Right. But, what you're going to be doing is
what you're going to get for him, though.
Well, but so here's the thing. What you're going to get is some other team saying this kid might be Eric Flowers. You're saying you get some other team saying, look, they never used this kid the right way. They never coached him properly. They never really got as much out of him as they could get. This guy is a top 10 pick not too long ago. Right. So they could potentially be trading on his potential value. I don't know. Maybe it's
what, and the reason why I'm going to fight against that because of Carmen Brasillo. Bringing in Carmen Brasillo, he elevated the whole O-line group, but one guy.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
It's like if Carmen can't do it, you know what I mean? Like it's like if he couldn't do it. I mean, but I hear your point though. That's just what are you going to give up to get a guy that been in the league for how long? 5 years? Is 5 years? Is this year 5 for him? Is this year 4 or 5? This is year 4.
This is 4.
This is year 4.
I mean, and guys, he doesn't suit up for games.
Well, but here's the thing. I guess that's part of my point, right? There's something funky that's going on there. It's the same reason that it's a little funky with Hyatt. And I've got to wonder what's going on in coach's head that he's got these guys not even dressing for games, right? He actually had Hyatt dressing and didn't put him on the field for 3 weeks? 4 weeks.
And that's crazy because he has no special teams value whatsoever.
Right? So he's dressing him, but he's not dressing Evan Neal. And was Evan Neal that bad? I know he's a bit of a liability in pass protection, but you saw that he was actually doing some good things in the run game. There's some capability there, right? And so he doesn't have good feet. He doesn't have good lateral movement as a guard. Yes, it's a liability in pass pro. But
you can't say but after that.
No, you can though, because listen, if you want to talk about this is something. Listen, I'll fucking die on this hill. If you've got somebody like Scatterbull, and you've got I've said it on the show. If you've got somebody like Scatterbull, you've got somebody like Elijah Chapman, you've got somebody like Evan Neal. If you want to line those 3 guys up, you've got fucking 885 pounds of human
Is that his third time saying that, Randy? Bringing
It's
that
gotta
whole
be.
scenario up?
It's gotta be because
You know what'd be
nobody's
so
fucking
funny,
listening.
though,
I
Randy?
gotta keep
I was gonna
saying it.
You know what'd be so funny? If they break that shit out.
Oh my god! If they did
like,
it,
Ryan, they listening.
yes, and you know what's going to happen? We're going to score a bunch of fucking touchdowns. That's what it's going to be.
And all of a sudden, I can picture that media session. Dave, what made you want to do that? Well, I heard this podcast.
That's right. You listen to the fucking
The
show.
professor.
The professor said
told me.
this is what it
All right,
That's exactly right.
We had some really good advice for an unnamed source who said we should be doing it.
All right. So, Ryan, the question is, you got the tush push, right? The funky bunch, right? The crushing crew, whatever. What would that be called?
Oh,
what is that group called?
Oh my god!
Scatterbull and tailback, Big Elijah Garcia, 275 pounds, and then a 345-pound guard.
That's the fucking freight train. That's the freight train right there.
I like that. I like that.
And as you see what Jose just said, but man, everybody know it's a run play.
Whatever.
Hey,
Who cares?
So be it. I'm with Ryan with that. I'm with Ryan with that because at the end of the day, right, the Eagles have the worst play in football, right? They have the tush push, right? Whatever you want to call it, the shit works for them, and everyone knows what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Stop the freight train. Step in front of the fucking freight train and try and
I like
stop
it. I like you, man. I like it a lot.
I just have this method. Like I'm just picturing the press conference with the questions. Dave will be like, "I'd like to call Ryan Darlington up to the podium today to answer some of these questions." And,
fuck yeah, let's do it. Yeah, bring it. What do you got?
Oh man.
First question here, Jordan Renan. Ryan, what makes you want to come up with that play? Well, it's fucking obvious. Next question, please.
Yep. It's like giving the ball to refrigerator Perry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I get that right now. Half the audience and they're going, "Who the hell's refrigerator Perry?"
Okay. Educate yourselves.
Educate yourselves.
Yeah. Look it up. YouTube it.
Yep, YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, YouTube. Boys, the other question I had for you also now is you brought up Russell Wilson when Dart went into the tent for those felt like Dable for like when Dable went into the tent which felt like an hour with Dart going into the tent there.
So bad, guys.
Russell Wilson went in there. I said when he got booed out of MetLife Stadium, I said he will never step on the field for the Giants again in a home game.
It's over.
It's over.
And I was hoping that pass got tipped at the line. I don't think it was. Guys, he just threw it 5 yards short.
It was so bad. It was so bad. And the thing is, this is the thing about Giants fans. They're assholes. They're like me. I'm an asshole, right? They are. Come on, guys.
We just tune in next week for our San Diego or Los Angeles Charger podcast.
So, but they're fair. You know what I mean? Like they're booing him for a reason, you know? And then he gets in the game, and then it's like, bro, this shit chance, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if he would have completed the pass, they would have cheered. That's a fact, guys.
Yeah.
If he would have completed the pass, they would have cheered. That's a fact. So, you know, like you kind of do it to yourself, you know, and I love the fans here, you know, because I'm a born asshole. I'm born in Jersey City, New Jersey, guys. Like, come on, you know. So for me, I love them. I love not love the booze, but like I love the fans being real fans. Like they're not just gonna show up if you're not good, guys. They're not. You have to be good for them to show up. And that was case in evident last week. They thought you were going to get smoked by the Eagles, so the stadium was not full, not even close to being full. And it wasn't even like an alarming amount of Eagles fans. It wasn't. It was alarming amount of not fans. Like it was. What's the stadium hold? 80,000. It was probably 60. Probably 60 there. Maybe 60. That might be pushing it
for a primetime game
against the Eagles. So. Like, I think now, though, after the game, I think everyone has a different impression of the Giants, which I think is rightfully so. I think he was like, you know, all right, we all kind of had them losing everybody. There's nobody that picked them besides Greeny. I think Greeny picked them. The Giants, I think Greeny might have picked them. There's no one else in the world that picked the Giants besides Daboll and the Giants.
I want to hear something funny. One of our listeners right now, and I put a couple of his comments up here. Jose Padilla. Jose, actually, I think I told Ryan this too. Jose said to me before the Eagles game, he's like, I think we're going to get one of these two against Philadelphia. And I just told him, I'm like, man. And I said to him, I'm like, I don't know what you're smoking.
Yeah, why aren't you sharing?
And why are you not sharing with JC and Ryan? And I don't understand. And I'm posting. Jose just said Russ has washed it up, and Greeny did pick them. But Jose did too. He said one of these two games was going to be a Giants win. So kudos to Jose.
Yeah, I'm taking PC, man. Saddle up.
Good job, Padilla.
Nice.
And he just responded again. There it is.
I know things. Good job. Hey, good man. Let us know some things. Right?
If
Seriously.
he happens to know this week's lottery numbers, I'll be glad to take those too. You know what I mean?
When's Powerball? When's Powerball?
Yeah, what's the Powerball number, baby? All right, boys. It is trivia time. Trivia brought to you by our good friends over at NFLShop.com. Wear the gear that the Giants gear all season long. Go to NFLShop.com right now in the link in the description so you can get the best deal on keeping your Giants wardrobe good. Keep this show free as we are a listener-supported podcast through backsportspage.com. Gentlemen, be ready to go with this week's question. Here it is. Boom!
Which New York Giants running back holds the franchise record for the most rushing yards in a single season?
That has to be Tiki.
Is it A, Saquon Barkley, B, Tiki Barber, C, Rodney Hampton, or D, Frank Gifford? If you're watching the show on YouTube, Facebook, or X, feel free to throw your answers in there. We'll give it a second so if anybody wants to throw their ring in the hat. But boys, okay, Jose's already on it.
I'm saying Tiki. I think Saquon, he went for what, 1,600 his rookie year? Was it 16 or 12? Was it 12?
Yeah, the reason why I think you're right. I know the answer, but I think you're right.
I'm about to say, what do you mean you think I'm right?
You fucking better know the answer.
You may be right, you may be wrong. Who knows?
It
Ryan, what do you got?
Orleans Darkwood.
Orleans Dark was the answer to every trivia question.
Every running back questions we've had far, the answer has been Orleans Darkwood.
I'm going B, but for some reason I'm thinking C. For some reason I'm thinking Rodney Hampton, but I'm going B, Tiki Barber.
So the only reason I'm not picking, I wanted to pick Frank Gifford. The only reason I'm not picking Rodney Hampton or Frank Gifford is that we play more games now. And there's a greater opportunity to have more yards in a single season than those guys ever would play. So I think I'm going to go B, Tiki.
Okay. And Jose has thrown Tiki up there.
Jose knows things.
We all right.
Jose knows things. So there's things going on. And the answer is B, Tiki Barber. Let's give it up to
Jose.
Nice. Do you know the yards total? What was it for rushing? Because I know we had like 2,500 all-purpose yards one year.
The yard total was, I actually have the answer for you, with
18.
Barber set the single season record with 1,860 yards in 2005.
2005, yep. 1,800, yep. Dang, that's a lot of yards, boy.
That's a lot of yards.
Gents, let's real quick before we get out of here, let's talk about the Denver Bronco game this upcoming weekend. Injury report did come out. A lot of names on that injury report. Let's go around the round table here. Ryan, start with you. What are we looking at for this Sunday with Denver?
This Sunday against Denver is going to be a tough one. I definitely feel like there is a little magic. I feel like there is some juice. I think Dart's going to be able to make some things happen that you're not expecting. He's a chaos agent. That's just what he does. So I think they will put up a fight, but this is in Denver. It is Mile High. It's the best defense in the league, and it's a serviceable offense who relies on the run. And what have we had trouble with defensively all year? I think we're looking at a close one. I think it's going to be 24-21 Broncos.
JC.
Ryan put up great points, man. This defense, man, and Patrick Surtain. I was watching like a clip from like Alabama, and he was standing next to Xavier McKinney.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, that fucking dude is huge at corner.
Yeah, he's big.
Surtain? Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he can cover his ass off too for to be in that game. Like,
His dad can play too.
Like, I don't know if anybody can catch a pass on that dude on this team. You know what I'm
better
saying?
get
Like,
Lil Jordan out there. Get that 6'4" motherfucker out there.
It's something else. And when you have a guy like that at that position, at the cornerback position, you can do some things on defense. You know, like it's not just because their pass rush is so elite, it's because you have good coverage on the back end.
Yeah, right.
So the Giants have to be very efficient offensively. I want them to limit their mistakes, right?
Yeah.
I think a turnover or two might happen, but let's stop with the penalties on offense. Let's stop with the false starts and the misalignments, like all of that stuff. Because against a team like Denver, man, they're gonna make you pay for your mistakes, you know. And you can't be getting into second and third and longs, because that's where they're gonna eat the Giants alive if they get in those situations. But the Giants have been good first, second down, and making their third downs a lot more manageable, and they've been good in the red zone. With all of that being said, that is all Denver's strengths. That's all their strengths on defense. So it's going to be a time. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I don't know if the Giants can go into Denver and breathe that air. That air is so crazy up there. Like, I almost died when I went up there one time.
What is it like? Can you talk about the difference of playing out there? You've been on the field out in Denver.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what it's like to play on that field?
It's hard to breathe. You ever been sick and you feel like shortness of breath when you're walking up the stairs? You're like, man, I'm this cold. You know what I mean? It's hit me hard. Like, I feel like I can't catch my breath. That's what it feels like. Yeah. You know, like, and if you've never felt it before, it's very shocking to your system. It's you know, so hopefully the guys can play through that and get through that, because it'll be rough up there. But Denver's I think they're a really good team. I think they coach very well. I think it's going to be a defensive type of situation. I'm going to go, because I think the Giants can score some points, man. I'm going to go 16-21. Go 16-21.
Denver?
Or
Giants?
16-21 Denver. Yeah. 16 is the Giants score.
How the fuck are you going to get to 16? It's
3 field goals and a touchdown.
3 field goals and a touch. That's good. I did math for a second there, sorry.
And I did put up Jose's prediction.
Yeah, well.
Hey, listen, you said you know.
He knows things.
You said you know.
He knows things. Apparently, he knows things.
He does.
The one thing we haven't talked about, I did get to watch Denver last week against the Jets, and one of the things I did notice, Bo Nix, as much as Denver doesn't look like they're coming out of nowhere, unlike last year where they sort of no one expected much out of them and they came alive last year. I think Bo Nix has done a very, very nice job at quarterback. He made some really big throws against the Jets when they needed him to, and he's got a very nice security blanket in Evan Ingram. You remember that guy, Evan Ingram?
My neighbor.
Is he really?
Yeah, he lived 3 doors down.
Nice.
Evan has played very well for Denver this year, and I really like the way Bo plays. I still think there's a lot of room for growth for him.
Of course, second year.
Yeah, so I think that, and I don't think he's had a real sophomore slump. I just think that I just don't think that Denver's coming out of nowhere this year to surprise anybody. So in my eyes, I still think that right now, look, you got to strike while the iron's hot. The Giants are a very, very, very hot team right now. Okay, we're calling a 2-4 team hot, but right now the moment.
Well, hey, momentum is the thing, guy.
Yeah, so we can take whatever we can get.
Here.
Exactly. I think that the Giants right now are a team on the upswing, and this might be one of those upset games. I'm going to go 24-21 Giants.
Okay.
And we got a comment here from Douglas Canvin. Check it out on the screen. Let's see what we got.
Start coming down to earth a little. Denver continuing an excellent defensive performance so far this year. 20-10 Denver in a physical fun game.
I agree with that. I think there will be struggles on offense. That I kind of said that earlier. I think it will be a little struggles on offense.
Yeah.
But I do think they'll be able to move the ball. You know, I have seen that consistently from this offense. So, hey, Randy, your numbers are different than the numbers here on your notes, buddy. You added 2
Just
points. You added
saying.
one
Just
point on each
saying.
side. Okay. Who are you talking to? You talking to Vegas? Who are you talking
We're
to?
looking at consistency here, guys.
Listen, Jose's sitting there texting me all these different things because you know what I mean. He knows things. He knows things.
Hey, listen, change the odds.
Real quick, JC. Real quick, let's plug the Giants 5K.
Yeah,
that it looks like most of us are going to be at. So
yeah, you got to do it because I'm talking on my phone. That's all my notes is on my phone.
Oh,
you got to plug it. Just know I'll be there. Go ahead, Randy.
Holy segue, Batman. Look, we're going to let Ryan plug it. Ryan, go ahead.
There you go, Ryan.
Yeah, great. So the Giants Foundation is hosting a 5K on Sunday, October 26th. It is going to be bright and fucking early on that morning. I think the actual 5K starts at 9. It is at this point, I think it's $55 a ticket. And again, the proceeds do go to the Giants Foundation, which supports all kinds of really good stuff. There is a kids run. If you've got kids and they want to join that, there's a separate category for that. And then if you're a serious runner and you're crazy enough to get up at that time of morning and actually jog, then you can do that as well. I think that's a great way to make sure that the rest of your day can't be any worse than the morning that you have. But to each his own. And here's the other cool part. One of the other things that made me really want to do this one is that from what I understand, the 5K does go around the parking lot, but you end the race on the field in the stadium. Nice. So I think that's going to be fucking awesome, and I'm really looking forward to that. I think I've worked on these two, and hopefully I've convinced them to come on out as well. As if you fans of the show are coming out, you can find us there. We'll be there. We're gonna try and have some, if not merch, then at least little cards. It's got our QR codes and shit like that on it. So come on out and say hello. We'd love to see you and meet you in person.
I just want to let you know. Right. I just want to let you know that I don't know if there's any radio station that can get a better plug than that. Can you imagine if Ryan was awesome. Like on WFAN with all the F-bombs and everything else like that? Come on out to that F event. God damn it, you'll have a great time. Yeah.
God damn it, it's gonna be great.
Next week when we plug that again, we have to make sure we do it as Dr. Evil, though. I think that'd be amazing. If
Dr. Evil.
5K run, yes.
Right.
Isn't that right, Mini Me? And then like that, just have like one of them, like have like Brett jump up on the thing. I was like, yes, that'll be awesome. All right, guys, follow this show every single week here live on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Go to backsportspage.com. Listen to the archives. Hey, listen, go to Spotify. Or go to our YouTube shows and leave a comment. Let us know how we're doing. Leave us a 5-star review. Give us your thoughts. Be part of the show. Be like Jose, who knows things and contributes to the show like the way he does. It's really, really great the way he does.
Yeah, we love that shit, guys. Keep that up. We love hearing from you.
We did not hear from Pasta this week, which really broke my heart.
Listen, can't expect him to be around every night. So
listen, it's Wednesday.
Yeah,
Tuesday. We totally threw him off.
We threw him off.
Yeah.
Last night, Pasta was in front of his computer, sitting there waiting for us.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's
sorry, Pasta.
Sorry, Pasta. We let you down.
Well, can I explain what I was doing while we couldn't do the show? Can I explain?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was doing an adaptive football clinic for autistic kids. So that's why I couldn't do yesterday. It ended at 9. We were in Cave and Point. We had to wait till the Pop Warner team got off the field at 7.
Yeah.
So we had a late start. That's why I was like, I can go at 10, but I know that's late. That's really late.
I was laughing when JC wrote back, yeah, guys, I could go at 10. I immediately text Ron.
There's no way. I got to get up at 5:30. I'm not doing a show at 11:30 at night. Listen, I used to be able to do that. I used to be able to function on 6. I just can't. I can't anymore. Too fucking old. Yeah,
I was dying because I texted Ryan. I said I can't do 10 o'clock. I got to wake up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, what? Did you really wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah. Well, listen, if we would have done the show,
I
at
went
10
to bed
o'clock,
at 4 o'clock in the morning last night.
I was about to say JC doesn't even get back to that until where he's going at night until 4 o'clock in the morning. JC, before we go, we haven't had story time with JC in a while. So I feel like we're owed. Can you give us an in-season story? Something maybe that was like a not normal situation for you that was in season. That maybe also that didn't involve a boat ride. But
so since the Giants are playing the Denver Broncos and the coach is Sean Payton, I got a good Sean Payton story for you, right?
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
So my rookie year, we're in the playoffs. It is, I believe, the Lions were playing in the playoffs, and Reggie Bush muffs 2 punts.
Oof.
2 punts in a row. Mind you, this is Reggie Bush. Like my receiver from high school played with Reggie at USC. So like I watched Reggie. I know Reggie's the GOAT of college football. Like, and this is what I see of this man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't tell me anything otherwise. So got a lot of respect for him and all of that good stuff. And I've seen Sean Payton curse people out before, but whoa. When he cursed out Reggie Bush and he went straight up to him, looked at him, moved some guys aside. He looked at him, he said, "Fuck you." Walked away a couple steps, turned around and said, "Fuck you." And I was just sitting there, bro. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it now. I was so scared. I was like, bro, if he talked to Reggie like that, you know what I mean? Like he could talk to me. I'm undrafted and stuff. But like that was like the first time I'm like, yo, this is because usually it's like, like, what are you doing? Like, come on, man, get it together. Like it's that. Not that. That looked like he wanted to punch Reggie in his face. Like that was a different type of FU that I've ever seen. But like, yeah, hey, let me tell you something about Sean though, man. Sean is one of the greatest storytellers you would ever be around. He's a phenomenal storyteller. Great memory. When we did the 10-year anniversary for the Super Bowl, we got like, I don't know, 95% of the guys there from the Super Bowl team with no paper in his hand. He's going around naming all the players in a quick story about them to the current players.
Yeah.
So like Davis was there, like all of those guys, like I never played with DeMario, but like he saw me there, we was talking and stuff like that. But like he gave stories about every single person on that team. You know how hard that is to do? So for me with Sean, like that Bill Parcells lineage, right? I was able to be underneath 3 of those guys, right? I got Sean Payton my rookie year. I got a half a year with Bill Belichick, and then Coughlin's final season in 2015. Because he wasn't coaching in Jacksonville, right? He was like the head of something.
Yeah, football operations or something.
So
yeah.
I got Coughlin in his final season, but all of those guys are cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
All of those guys are cut from the same cloth, guys.
I have to ask you too, you playing for those 3 coaches, how important is it to have a coach that has that type of pedigree? Like that, like that's the one thing that we kept on saying about culture.
Mm-hmm.
When Tom Coughlin came to the Giants, man, he brought a culture. Like people knew when he was coming in, they knew he was a hard ass and he was going to shape up that Jim, like what Jim Fossil had left him, and that was one of the things. You look at the Giants, what they have again. The jury's out on Brian Daboll, what that's going to look like at the end of the season this year. But if you look at that, the Giants have brought in since Tom Coughlin, McAdoo, Shermer, Joe Judge, and Daboll. All of his guys. Shermer had, I think, had maybe a little bit of head coaching experience, but not a lot. All those other guys were coordinators.
Yeah.
How important do you think it is to find someone who can, I guess, for a storied franchise like the Giants, to make sure you have that culture built in?
I think it's crucial, at the end of the day, like just because you've had success in the past, that doesn't, predict that you'll have success in the future. if you don't have success in the past, if you have no experience, that doesn't mean you can't go out there and win, whether it's right away or in a few years. What I would think, like if I'm the GM or the owner trying to hire a head coach, like I'm looking like, all right, how is this guy's character? Does he remain steadfast under pressure? Can he command the room? Can he lead a whole bunch of alpha crazy ass motherfuckers? Like, can he do that? You know what I mean? Like, for me, that would be, besides the resume, I think those are the intangibles that you really got to get when you get going after a head coach. Yes, he has to be smart, but we're talking about the New York teams, this New York media. You got to be able to deal with the media, right? And all of the bullshit that comes, right? And I've seen this because I played for 4 different teams. The questions in New York are they're a lot more direct. They don't beat around the bush. They're not throwing you softballs. They're throwing them bitches 95 miles per hour down the plate every time, especially when you lose. And when you're losing consistently, New York media they have no mercy.
Yeah.
And I think the ability to handle that as not only a coach but a quarterback. And that's why, for real, that's why I got so much respect for Daniel Jones. Because the way he handled the media throughout his tenure for the Giants, they ripped him every single year.
Every
Since
day.
he was drafted.
Every day.
Every day. Since he was drafted. And now I think he had that tough skin. Now he goes over to Indianapolis and he's the best quarterback in the league. What the fuck is going on with that?
Indiana Jones, baby. Indiana Jones.
But
God love him.
the things I said about a head coach, like I think those things are very critical and very important when it comes to being a head coach, because it's not if it's going to hit the fan, it's when the shit hits the fan.
Sure.
What type of person are you going to be? Are you still going to stand tall and stand on the things that you believe in front of everyone? And I don't know, how do you assess that? So it's what I think, it's what I think is necessary to have success as a head coach, but how do you prove that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, guys, our time is run out. We've gone a little long, but I feel like it was worth it. I felt this was a lot of fun. We had to make up for 2 weeks of not seeing each other, so it was definitely well worth it. You guys listen to the Big Blue Report. Again, follow us on Spotify and all your podcast platforms, as well as on social platforms. Give us a like. Give us a 5-star review or whatever review we feel like you should give us. Just keep listening to the show. We're looking forward to keep doing this every single week. Until then, that's Ryan Darlington, the professor, the 2-time Super Bowl champion, and former defensive captain Jonathan Casillas. I'm Randy Zellea from Back Sports Page, and we are out of time, and we will see you next week. See you guys later.